AEW has the better women's division right now in 2025. I will tell you my reasons why I feel that way. Plus, we're going to do a quick coverage of Collision and then a really fun game that I made up that we'll play at the end of this video called Rasslin Roulette. Stay tuned for all of that on this quick episode of Screw the Script. Welcome back, everybody, to Screw the Script. I'm your host, Maverick. On this video, I want to go over why I feel that the AEW Women's Division is just doing the Women's Division better than WWE and other competition right now. We're also going to quickly go over Collision in a moment after that. And then I got a fun new game that I'm going to start and try out. Just give me your input and feedback on it. We're going to be doing it from my laptop because as of right now, I don't have a way to link screen share my laptop screen to you guys. So I'll kind of show you it on the screen, but it should be pretty easy to follow. And it's not going to require my computer screen for long. So you'll see that in a moment. Before we get to that fun new game, I want to go over Collision real quick and then emphasize the women's division. The whole reason why I'm making this video today, I truly think the AEW Women's Division is better than the WWE's division right now. I mean, if you look at this right here, it's not there. Oh, hey, Harley Graham. Yeah, hey, how's it going? Yeah, can you throw up that? Thank you. Good old Harley Graham again. So that right there, I mean, look at that. And I'll look at it on my laptop because I have it up here. All of that happened on Collision this past Saturday night. By the way, one of the best Collisions that's happened in some time. I loved it from start to finish. Every match, every promo, every segment. There was just something different about that Collision, and I really, really, really hope that they keep moving forward with this much effort into Collision because for a while, pretty much all of 2024, Collision very much felt like the B show, kind of like how SmackDown is over in WWE. So I'm really hoping that they continue this this trend to really emphasize on Collision because the last few weeks now, I want to say, it's gotten better. And honestly, it's rare for me to say this. I think I enjoyed Collision this past Saturday more than Dynamite on Wednesday. Just being honest. But yeah, you look at that. You had a Toni Storm promo backstage. All of her promos are great. So reason number one, I guess I'll just give you a multitude of reasons. But the first one being Toni Storm, I still think is the best thing in women's pro wrestling, just across the board. Her gimmick, her character, her in-ring, just her in-ring skills line up with how good she is on the mic in promos. Her and Mariah May had probably Women's Feud of the Year in 2024 into 2025. That's just my opinion. I know you may disagree with me here, but that's one big reason. Reason number two, Megan Bayne. I mean, it's literally giving me reasons as we go down. Megan Bayne is everything that they wanted Jade Cargill to be. Megan Bayne is better than Jade Cargill was when she was in AEW as just like a young, huge women's competitor that's a threat to anyone that she's in the ring with. I mean, even Chris Statlander looks small compared to her. And she, after Jade Cargill left, Chris Statlander was the biggest women's wrestler that's at least featured weekly. You got Nyla Rose, but I haven't seen Nyla in forever. So yeah, like that's reason number two is Megan Bayne is being built much better than Jade Cargill was. She's already way better in the ring than she was. She doesn't look as green or as stiff. She's really good. And the only thing that we need to see from her, obviously, now moving forward is whether or not she can, cut a great promo on the mic. If she can go in the ring and have a battle back and forth with a Toni Storm, a Jamie Hayter, for examples. Reason number three, literally right beneath that, they are featuring women on their main shows from their undercard show, ROH, which, for a little while, they weren't doing that very well. Now they have. They had Athena pick up the win against Harley Cameron. And then kind of reason number 3B, aside from A, is Harley Cameron. They have yet another star in the making that they're building. She is funny. She is engaging. She's exciting. And I really think at some point in 2025, she will have either another title shot, or she's not going to lose her steam. I know, Harley, and then like Harley Graham, which we all know she's Harley Graham. Like, that's a fun little side thing that she does on top of her like puppet stuff, on top of her good promos, on top of being good in the ring now. Like, and she's young, and they have built yet another like homegrown star, because she wasn't big anywhere else before AEW. Right beneath that, the highlight of Collision last night, Jamie Hayter and Billy Starks is 20 fucking years old. 20. Okay? Name me one women's wrestler in any other company, not just WWE, any other promotion, that put on that good of a match at 20 years old that we saw this past Saturday. Her and Jamie Hayter, that was my favorite match of the night. And real quick, actually, I want to show you a clip, just a brutal spot for a 20-year-old to take. I'm a decade older than her. If this happened to me, I would probably, I would have had the wind knocked out of me. I don't know if I would get back up, honestly. So real quick, if you didn't catch Collision and you just want to see why I'm giving so much praise to Jamie Hayter and especially Billy Starks, here's that clip.
See Starks try to move her head out of the way to protect herself. Pick up! Oh! God, there's no protecting herself there.
A suplex on the floor. Both ladies hit hard, and both, as the fans look on, incredulously.
So yeah, ultimately you did see Jamie Hayter pick up the win. One knockback that I will mention just to get out of the way for AEW is both the men and women's Owen Hart Cup tournament seems to be kind of predictable. So far, I've gotten every single match right. Now, is that because I'm good at predicting things? I think it's more so that the tournament is pretty predictable this year. So that's one like little setback. I wish it was a little bit more unpredictable, or we saw some upsets in the first round, but we did not. Came close. I thought it was going to happen this match with Billy Starks, and then a previous men's match, which will actually, or a men's match that happened this past Saturday, Takeshita and Brody King. That went back and forth. We'll get to that in a moment. So yeah, that's, reason number 4. Okay, I guess there isn't a fifth reason. Mercedes, I hope she just drops a belt at some point to somebody. But hey, that's 4 solid reasons anyway. Just from that photo that I showed earlier, that proves, at least to me, that AEW's women's division is doing much better so far in 2025 than the likes of TNA, WWE, New Japan, all that stuff. I mean, just to compare, this is a huge week in pro wrestling. You've got Monday Night Raw this upcoming Monday night. You've got NXT. You've got Dynamite on Wednesday. Collision is on Thursday this week, if you don't remember. Friday night SmackDown, and then both Saturday, Sunday, nights 1 and night 2 of WrestleMania. Like, this should be like deemed Pro Wrestling Week. I think if this is going to be a trend moving forward, where the week of WrestleMania, that AEW will now be moving Collision onto Thursdays, and we literally get a solid week's worth of pro wrestling from the top companies in the U.S. anyways, excluding New Japan and their stuff, and then TNA. It's just, TNA is still beneath AEW. They've had a resurgence, and I'm very happy for them, but they're not selling out as big of crowds. They're not, they're not on HBO Max. They don't have all this, they don't have this big of a partnership with a TV program as the likes of AEW. So they're the third. But anyways, it's better than WWE. I mean, look at WrestleMania. And then we'll get into another thing that I think AEW is doing better than any other promotion right now. But look at WrestleMania. You've got a half-assed, messy, thrown together triple threat match for one title. I really don't care. I think they majorly fucked up by making it a triple threat. They should have never had Rhea lose the title. It should have been her and Bianca one-on-one, strong women versus strong women. Who's the best? We'll find out. That's what they should have done. Instead, they had to do this messy upset that really wasn't all that great of a crowd reaction, if you remember. And the crowd just really hasn't gotten behind Io that much. They just haven't. I mean, she is not there yet with the crowd and engagement and stuff. And then the messiness of going back and forth, like, oh, what do we, like, you could tell that creative in WWE was like, shit, like, we kind of backed ourselves into a corner. What do we do? I guess just like after that special guest ref match, I don't know, just fuck it, make it a triple threat still at Mania. Like, that's what it felt like. It was a mess. There's someone involved in this that I don't believe belongs quite yet. Now, again, like Rhea, Bianca, great. Io, I don't. She's like the Jey Uso right now. I don't think she believes this. I don't believe she deserves this big of a push, is what I'm trying to say. And then you got the other side, like, honestly, probably even worse. Charlotte and Tiffany Stratton. I mean, they had a good promo where they both kind of went off script, we saw. But outside of that, like, maybe I'll be dead wrong. Hopefully I am. And then maybe I can eat my words. But it just seems so damn predictable for WrestleMania that we're going to see Charlotte Flair yet again have a title. And it's not that she isn't deserving. It's just the fact that she was gone for a while. She comes back and just immediately walks into the main title picture for the women's division, gets a title shot, and more than likely, just because she's got the Flair name, she's going to win that title at Mania. I just don't like that. I in my opinion, the way that the women's division is going in WWE is just not as hot, it's not as strong, or as entertaining right now as AEW's. That's just my opinion. So that's that on the women's division. Next, I'm just going to quickly talk about another thing, I should say, that I believe AEW is just doing a lot better than WWE, New Japan, TNA, and all those other promotions. Tag teams. And honestly, the only evidence that I need for that, when you want to put it up against WWE, is look at the WrestleMania card. You don't even have the SmackDown Tag Champs on the WrestleMania card. That alone tells me and shows me and many other pro wrestling fans that you don't care about your tag division that much. And WWE has struggled with their tag division for so long. 8 or 9 years now. And then, not only that, but like the Usos aren't even really together anymore. I mean, they're still on screen together, but they haven't been relevant in the tag division for quite some time now. You've got the New Day, which was one of arguably their other biggest tag team in company history the last 10, 15 years. They broke up. Big E's gone. I mean, he had to basically retire with his neck injury, but still, like, they turned those two heel. Probably the most exciting thing that's happening in the tag division for WWE. Meanwhile, on the AEW side, you've got the Hurt Syndicate. They're great. Great move to go from WWE to AEW, because all three of them are being featured basically weekly. They have dominated the competition over there. And there is solid competition. Because another example, you saw what happened on Collision. Well, I guess before that, at Dynasty, you saw FTR turn heel and attack Adam Copeland. And then this past Saturday on Collision, another thing that happened on Collision, to recap quick, you saw their reasoning, their explanation. You saw them, here's a photo right there where they were about to attack Tony Schiavone. They were about to do their finisher on him. And thankfully, Nigel McGuinness comes in. I really wanted to see him beat ass so bad. That would have been awesome. That would have been the cherry on top. But that whole segment was flawless. And it was a tag team division segment. And then another example is AEW is got so much depth in their tag division that you have guys like Austin and Colton Gunn, who I don't know if they're injured or what, or they're just taking some time off. They haven't even been featured recently. And then guys like the Acclaimed broke up, but they still have a strong tag division. I mean, they have the Hurt Syndicate, like I mentioned, FTR, its heel. And then you're going to have the Gates of Agony 1 on Collision. They're getting a title shot against the Hurt Syndicate, I believe, on Wednesday or Thursday, one of the 2 days. You've got the new formed tag team in Hologram. And who is it that's with Hologram? Commander. They're a solid luchador tag team, seemingly replacing the Lucha Bros. And to go back to WWE, like, for some weird reason, they decided to separate one of AEW's best tag teams that they had before they left, the Lucha Bros. Penta's on Raw. Rey Fenix is on SmackDown right now. Penta's not getting any younger. He's already 40. He's not going to be competing at a high level for much more than a few more years, probably. Why didn't they throw those two together? I don't know why. I really don't know why. So those are just a few reasons why I think that the tag division is also better in AEW. Takesha and Brody King had a solid main event on Collision, so we'll talk about this real quick and then move on to the fun wrestling roulette game that I have. The only knockback that I had from this main event was the fact that we again saw Brody King lose. I think he's a great in-ring competitor for the singles division now that Malachi Black has left. It looks like all the speculation is him returning to WWE is going to happen. He'll be Aleister Black once again. I do hope he brings back that theme, that entrance song that he had in NXT. It was great. Brody King, he deserves some victories. Takesha is a great competitor, though. I love his push that he's getting still, even though he dropped that title to Omega last month. So Takesha ended up picking up the victory on Collision. Solid main event, though. Every match that's been in both the men and women's Owen Hart Foundation tournament has been really, really good. And we had a few of them showcased this past Saturday night on Collision, and this was yet another really good one. Very well could have been a middle of the card match at Dynasty had it been time for that match at the time, or just any other pay-per-view. Honestly, like, these two went to battle. They had a solid 15-ish minute main event. They both look really good. I mean, I don't think it fully sets back Brody King too far, but he's got to get some victories eventually here, because he's lost to Takesha a couple times now, I want to say. It's either him or Fletcher that he's lost to a couple times in the last few months when they've... the only time he wins is when he squashes somebody, or it's against somebody who's just, really not getting a push at all. Other than that, he still is losing, and I don't want to see Brody King also get frustrated and be on his way out, because AEW very much needs big men. They only have, a handful, really, like legit a handful. I mean, there's Brody King, Lance Archer, Will Hobbs, Big Bill, Brian Cage, I guess you could throw in there. We don't ever see... certain big men. I mean, we haven't seen Wardlow in forever. I really don't know what in the world is happening with Keith Lee. So, you get the idea. One of their drawbacks, one of their key issues that they have really struggled on since 2019, really, is big men in the company, and honestly pushing and building these big men. Because if I'm not mistaken, at least for the main title, we haven't seen a single big man, a huge guy, win the title. It's been all, their average size competitors in the men's division that have won the AEW World Championship. The only big man that had huge success, and rest in peace to him, was Brody Lee when he was TNT champ. He had that phenomenal dog collar match against Cody Rhodes where he just obliterated him in, 5 minutes flat. Man, do I miss Brody Lee. But yeah, so... Again, going back to the main event, it was a solid main event, but I'm really starting to get sour with the fact that we see Brody King taking all of these L's against legitimate competitors, and not just seeing him only win against guys that he squashes in 3 minutes, or competitors that we know aren't getting a push anytime soon. So that's my only gripe with that match. Otherwise, it was a solid main event. Quickly going over the other things that happened. Just one other thing that I wanted to mention that happened last night We saw Kevin Knight again. He is... I can tell that Shawn Michaels over in NXT is probably, seething from the mouth that he lost his opportunity to have Kevin Knight in NXT. He is so damn good. He had yet another amazing match on Collision, and his first singles victory, by the way, against AR Fox. That was a ride from start to finish. That was a thrill ride. It was like going on, an amusement park ride from start to finish. It was just a blast. It was fun. His first singles victory. He had a tag team victory, that 4-way tag. But then he had some losses against Jay White, Will Ospreay. That's okay. He's so damn good, it doesn't even matter that he had those 2 big losses, because he was featured so well in every match so far. He's been featured really well. And he got ovations from both Jay White and Will Ospreay. I mean, that's 2 of the best in AEW to shake hands with and have them say, you know what, you're one hell of a competitor. And he is. And I love Kevin Knight. I want him pushed to the moon. Give him, have him be one of the first guys to feud with Adam Cole. I'd love that. Adam Cole's the new TNT champ after he beat Garcia this past pay-per-view at Dynasty. Give me Kevin Knight and Adam Cole in a feud. I would love that. So that's it for talking about the women's division, tag division, and some other Collision recap. Now on to the fun little game. If you've stuck around, thank you. But we're going to do this game called Rasslin Roulette. On my laptop, at some point I'll figure out how to screen share, but for now I'm just going to show you my laptop screen in a second, just on my camera. What we're going to do is I've got a roulette wheel that's got 40 singles competitors in the men's division. We're just going to do men's division today because I'll do a women's separately from this. In AEW, by the way, this is strictly AEW. And then I have a separate wheel of match stipulations. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the match stipulation first, because I have things like 3-way and a fatal 4-way thrown in there. So I can't do the competitors first if it lands on one of those. So I'm going to do the stipulation first, and then I'm going to go to the competitor wheel and select accordingly how many I need, whether it's 2, 3, or 4. I didn't include Stadium Stampede or any of those, or the Blood and Guts, but I have pretty much every other stipulation that we see in pro wrestling, plus some of the unique ones that we've seen in AEW that's included in this wheel. So, let me move my mic quick. Now, this might be backwards, so I'm sorry if it is. I'll figure out how to do this better, but this is pretty much the wheel right there. And yeah, everything's backwards, but you can kind of, read the names on there if you can quick. So I'm just going to spin. And then I have a separate one right here for stipulations. So let's do this real quick. We'll do the stipulation first. Oh, that's neat. It does a noise. So for the stipulation, and we're going to do this just a few times, we got triple threat. Okay, so glad I did that first, because now I got to pick 3 guys. So now it's spinning. Sorry for bumping the mic. Spinning the big one there. I'll let you know what we get. So I got 40 male competitors in here. Brian Cage. So we'll remove him from that. And then we'll spin again. So far, triple threat between Brian Cage. And basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to give you my pick on who I think would win these interesting match. Oh, Wardlow. We haven't seen Wardlow in a while, but this is starting to look like a beefy triple threat match here. So Wardlow, Brian Cage, and then one more person here. We've got, just so I'm showing you it, it's backwards, but Kyle Fletcher. We got Kyle Fletcher. So kind of a bad stipulation for Fletcher to be in. I mean, he's not a small guy, but he's nowhere near the size of Brian Cage and Wardlow. So who do I think wins between Kyle Fletcher, Brian Cage, and Wardlow in a triple threat? I am going to say Kyle Fletcher comes close to winning by cheating. but I ultimately think that in this scenario, Brian Cage would eat the pin from Wardlow. I'm going to go with Wardlow on that. But Kyle Fletcher could theoretically pick up a win, via like some dirty pin or distraction by somebody from the Don Callis family. But I'm going to go with Wardlow. All right, we're spinning the match stipulation. You can kind of see here with me. I can't remember how many I put in there, but I know it's backwards, but I'm sure many of you can read backwards just fine. So you got a last man standing match. So we'll just do 2 here. And I think we'll do one more quick after this. I'm removing the competitors that were picked from the triple threat. So now we have 37. Let's do that spin here. All right, so first competitor looks like it's going to land on, Shelton Benjamin. So we got Shelton right there. We're going to remove him. So last man standing match between Shelton and, slowing down here. Ooh, this looks like it'd be, this might be pretty one-sided. Daniel Garcia. I just put Garcia in there, but Shelton Benjamin versus Danny Garcia in a last man standing, although Danny Garcia can and has proven to be a tough son of a bitch for his size. Shelton Benjamin is so good in the ring. He's got probably more experience in years than Garcia has been alive, because I think Garcia is like late 20s, 27, 28 years old. I'm going to go with Shelton Benjamin on this, ultimately. Maybe like Hurt Syndicate gets involved and we do see a heel win here, but I don't even want to do Shelton an injustice and say that he needs Bobby Lashley or MVP to win this. I just think he flat out wins a clean last man standing match. He beats Danny Garcia. So we'll do one more here and then I'll close out this video. All right, last one. Let's spin the wheel stipulation first. The stipulation wheel. We've got, and I'll show it to you. I know someone's going to be mad about this. We got unsanctioned. An unsanctioned match. Oh, that's hilarious. Unsanctioned match, we'll do just one-on-one again. So, I removed the competitors from the other 2. Who are we going to get for unsanctioned? One-on-one. All right. It landed on Darby Allin. Oh, hell yeah. That already sounds like a great match. So we'll remove him. Unsanctioned. Darby Allin. Unless this is if this is against somebody that's just way too tough for him. Ooh. This would be fun. Just because it highlights 2 of the young stars. You got unsanctioned Darby Allin versus Hook. I know, it's backwards. I'm sorry. I'll figure out how to screen share the next time I do this fun game. I love Hook. He's still very young, early 20s still. Could definitely use a lot more time on the mic to work on his mic skills. He is tough. I love his wrestling style. But, Darby Allin literally lives and breathes for matches like this. So I think this is probably the easiest of the 3 that I did in this fun little exercise. I'll keep the same names up that haven't been used. So the next time I do this, the names that were picked in these 3 are going to be gone. They can't land on them again. So we'll get, different names for sure next time. I'm going Darby Allin. He's taken ridiculous spots in so many different matches in his AEW career that, Hook, it's funny that it was Hook because we saw, I think it was on Collision or just past Dynamite, he took a gross chair bump where he ended up puking in the ring a couple times. If he can't take that, I'm sorry, Hook. You're not going to beat Darby Allin. That's all I had on this episode of Screw the Script, talking about the main points of this video being the women's AEW division and the tag division. Just, I think, is better than any other promotion right now, especially in 2025. I quickly covered a few other things that happened on Collision, and we did our first Rasslin Roulette game. I don't know how often I'll do it. I probably won't do it again until I figure out how to screen share. If you know how to screen share or ways that I can screen share, again, I'm not used to doing stuff like this. I have like editing skills, but only the basics really. So it would be very nice and kind of you if you're watching this and you know how I could do this screen share. So the next time I can just kind of have it split screen where you can see the wheel and not have the words and everything backwards. That'd be greatly appreciated. This has been Maverick again with Screw the Script. Thanks for watching.